Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie, and this is your June monthly reading. Today, we will be doing a yummy Celtic cross spread, and I'll be closing off the reading with a card pull from the Herbcrafters Tarot for a message for the Virgo collective. Do keep in mind, these are general readings, so only take what resonates. If you're interested in more context, be sure to check your sun, moon, rising, and north node placements. If you're interested in a personal reading, I will have links in the description below, along with links to my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Creators on the Crest. Okay, Virgo, let's get into your June energies. Can you believe June's already here? I'm gonna do a little shuffling. All right. It'll take me just a moment to pull the cards. All right. A little bit of a story unfolding here, Virgo. All right. Okay, Virgo, right off the bat, you're showing me a relationship. You've got the Lovers in your current situation. This is crossed by the Queen of Swords, which makes me kind of consider that this relationship might be going through or have gone through a bit of a cold period or a bit of a freeze. Maybe there's a little distance being kept between you and your partner for some reason. This seems to be a bit challenging for you. Your focus area is the Seven of Swords. Now, this is an interesting energy because it can mean a very sneaky energy. It could mean a subconscious thought pattern might be running the show for you, and it's causing you to maybe feel like you're needing to hide something or kind of steal away with something, and maybe you feel like you're being watched or judged, perhaps. In the past, you're leaving behind the Five of Pentacles, which is a really an energy of being forgotten, being left, being abandoned, and that is an energy of betrayal, and that energy of the five can be quite conflicting. And so that's interesting that your focus area is kind of this sneaky energy that you have going on with you, and yet you're trying to leave the Five of Pentacles in the past. We're going to have to do some clarifiers. In your strength position, you've got the Six of Wands. You do have a confidence about you at this time that at the moment is looking quite good. You're feeling proud of something, maybe something you've created or something you've done, something that is aligned with your passions that you're feeling good about. You're feeling knowledgeable about it. You're feeling, like, hey, look, I did this, and I'm happy about it. In the future, you get the Emperor. This is a very strong masculine energy of stability and fortitude. There's a lot of fortitude coming through here. So, a nice strong energy maybe coming in as you move into the near future. In your advice and support section, you have the Eight of Swords. Now, this would be the overthinking. This would be the self-imposed thought patterns that you may or may not have a conscious awareness of, but you certainly have control over what you do with these energies. So we'll clarify that because it's looking like it has you a little bit trapped in. In your environment, you have the Seven of Cups, so perhaps some choices are around you. Whether or not you're seeing the choices, we'll have to take a look at, but it looks like you have options in your current environment. In your hopes and fears, you get the Ace of Pentacles. This is a very strong sense of your own stability, of being able to pull your own weight, of being able to have your own resources, have your own finances, and start down the path of perhaps abundance and wealth building and savings. In the potential outcome, you get the Page of Swords. Now, the pages represent an innocent energy, but swords can also represent a tricky energy that might infiltrate from the mental space. It definitely looks like what you're dealing with predominantly here has to do with maybe some mental energies or patterns that might be running the show at this time, but we'll have to see. The Page of Swords can tend to be a little bit immature in the sense that he or she may be, spending too much time scrolling on social media, stalking, social media stalking people, kind of some of this, what are you spending your time doing, right? And that may be a question that you need to pose to yourself. Let's look at this relationship that you're showing off the bat in your situation, the Lovers. For some of you, this could be a love situation that is connected to some past life energies. I'm seeing Egypt here, like ancient Egypt. And the Lovers is clarified by the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands. So this relationship is going through a time of great healing right now. Not necessarily you alone or you or the other person alone, but the relationship and the connection itself. There's been something that has injured the connection, and it looks like it's being repaired. So I get the Three of Wands with this here. So right now, there's not a lot of active movement maybe toward one another. It could also really be that the two of you are working on strengthening like your own selves in some way, getting kind of your own lives in order, turning your own ships in the direction that they need to be facing your true north. And then, then maybe more attention can come onto the relationship together. And I think that's why we have this Queen of Swords challenge card right here. If you're dating someone, you may have been kind of like hot and heavy at first and it kind of cooled off a little bit, but I think that's because maybe you triggered each other, maybe got into a little bit of tit for tat kind of things and needed to come into a space of your own self, your own knowing, your own boundaries. The Queen of Swords is clarified by the Queen of Wands and the Four of Wands. So even though this may be challenging for you or for the other person in the relationship you're dealing with, Virgo, this is actually appropriate. The little bit of distance, the little bit of coldness, the little bit of maybe standoffishness is actually quite helpful because we have the Queen of Wands coming in. It's quite helpful for the relationship to have the opportunity to come back stronger and come back with more stability and possibly even more passion. I think there will be a little bit more consideration coming in with this energy, with this Queen coming in, a little bit more subtle care of the situation to maintain a nice balanced stability that we're seeing with this Four of Wands here. Let's look at this Five of Pentacles that you're leaving behind, because again, even though this is a pentacle, I had this that you're operating maybe on some mental patterns that aren't super healthy, and I'm wondering if this Five of Pentacles doesn't have to do with it. Okay. It looks like it has in the past, and that, remember I said in your environment, and we'll get to it, you have choices with the Seven of Cups. This Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. I think this is what you're learning. You are learning that you always have the choice for how you react in any given situation. Not only do you have the choice, but it's absolutely 100% totally your responsibility for how you choose to react to things. It's not the other person's fault. It's not anything they did, any kind of situation or anything that they did to trigger you. And they may have done something, don't get me wrong. They may have done something that's on them. However they acted or might have done, that is their business to deal with. What I'm looking at here is you, and in order for you to bring yourself from the Five of Pentacles into the Six, into a more balanced place, you're going to have to love yourself and take care of yourself, maybe offer yourself a little bit of self-care, and coming to the clarity that Your responses, the way you handle things, the words you are saying are absolutely your responsibility. I think in the past you were operating more off of a wounded perspective, and you may still be to some degree. It looks like you're really trying to leave this behind. You're trying to move from the 5 to the 6. You're trying to find more of the balance and bringing in maybe some of the Libra energy. Some of you could be dealing with a Libra in your life or a person who's triggered you. And this Queen of Cups energy is beautiful because it represents making sure that you fill your own cup. And as we're filling our own cup, we're also taking responsibility for our mental and emotional states of well-being. And that's something we need to do. Now, for some reason, I skipped to the past and I didn't go in the focus area here on the 7 of Swords. So we're going to do this a little bit out of order. There's a reason that I did that. Let's look at this 7 of Swords. This is where you need to focus. So in what way are maybe the patterns sneaking up on you? How could they still be affecting your life? Okay, you get the Hermit and the Ace of Wands to clarify this 7 of Swords. So in your focus area, I think you do have the knowing, and you do have Fox energy here, a little more sly, a little more tricky, a little more kind of slinking around, kind of like giving me the feeling of like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, you know, he's like sneaky, but he can't help himself. And maybe some fragmentation going on for you, or defragmentation, you know, you're really figuring out how you want to move. You're quite a passionate person from what I can see, and you have a lot to offer. And it appears that in your intentions, you are trying to offer what is strong and beautiful and passionate, and you're trying to give your best, basically, to the situation and possibly to this relationship, possibly to yourself, because you have the Hermit card here. And the Hermit is the one that has journeyed through some of the harder parts of the journey, and they have come back into themselves and found that inner wisdom and evolved through that inner wisdom. They've evolved their light. And when I first started out before Creators Own the Crest, I had named my business Inner Wisdom Evolution, which is still beautiful. I needed a change, and Creators on the Crest is more suitable to my purpose and where I'm moving. At the time, I think I was going through more of an inner wisdom evolution, and that's an important part for you at this time. These are the parts of the cycles that we do come up on as we're going through our growth and our evolution. It won't be the first time and it won't be the last, right? Not the first and won't be the last. The Hermit is the invitation to, hey, take this inside. Maybe you do need to steal away and have some private time to yourself. Maybe you do need to take that walk in the woods alone. Maybe you do need to do that, because we did get self-care coming up as you're like leaving behind some of the traumas of the past. You're bringing in self-care. We also want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to get nice and clear so that your responses aren't inauthentic, is what it appears to be here. All right, let's look at your strength with this 6 of Wands, something you're in your element about, feeling confident about from what I can see here. You get the 10 of Cups and the Page of Cups. And this is giving a lot of love to something that you care about. And it brings you a lot of happiness. It brings you a lot of fulfillment, especially when you're recognized for it. So this would be possibly at work, someone valuing your work, someone expressing love and appreciation for what you do. Could be on the home front too. This brings you strength. This brings you it like builds the confidence even more. Even though you already have it, it builds your confidence even more, and you feel valued, you feel fulfilled in this energy. And it definitely is connected to you doing something that you are passionate about, you care about, and it's like it could be a cause. It doesn't even have to be your main form of work. It could be a cause or a situation that you're feeling really great about. let's look at this Emperor in the future energies. For the Emperor, you get the Tower and the High Priestess. Wow, these are really different, different energies. And I really think it comes back to your own stability within, with what I saw in the Hermit coming over the Seven of Swords here. This is affecting you in very minor ways, like day to day, I would say. And also in very major ways, like this is a theme for you running through this time of your life. Here you have the Emperor, fortitude, stability, masculine strength. Whether you're male or female, this is the positive charge coming through really, really strong, and it's very active. Okay, it's very active within you, Virgo. And on one side you have the Tower, and on the other side you have the High Priestess. And I feel that this has to do with how you choose to wield the energy of the Emperor. The Emperor is connected to the energy of Aries. So it's a very headstrong, forward-moving energy. Now, you can either move forward in that headstrong energy in a very constructive and wise way, which is the High Priestess, bringing in wisdom and knowledge and making sure that it is sanctified and it is sacred. Or you can not do that and just bulldoze through things, which, you know, I'm not saying bulldozer energy isn't important sometimes. Sometimes we need to blast through things, right? And that may be how you dealt with things in the past, and it might have worked. But in this situation, what you're going through now in June, the feeling that I get is if you come on too strong, if you don't maybe wait for the invitation, some of you could be those projector types where you need to wait for someone to invite you into the conversation. I know that can be, you have to have patience and you have to like just kind of feel it out. But if you allow for that, it will be a much smoother relationship, transition, handling of whatever situation that you are up against. If you come on too strong or come out of the gates, like maybe not knowing your audience as well. So like if you're a public speaker or you're on stage or you're doing content, if you're coming off too strong, there's something here that is going to kind of knock you down. Now, some people have very strong personalities. That may be the case for you. It could be a personality thing where you do come off a little strong, and some people can handle it and some people can't. You need to be able to be yourself, but you're also being encouraged by the universe to bring in a little bit of the wisdom, a little bit more balance to whatever this is. This feels like also like there can be, when we're observing people, right? And you're very observant, you're very analytical, Virgo. So maybe this would be some good homework for you, since this is coming up in your future energies. Maybe your homework is to go and just observe people. And I want you to observe the masculine. And how does the masculine energy roll with things? You know, and what are you seeing in different masculine energies? And then observing the feminine energies, and how does the feminine flow through things? And observing some of those different energies and seeing in others, not as a judgment, but as a like lesson for you to see how there is a range and how they can sometimes be very polarized to one edge or another. That seems to be coming up for the month of June, where people are kind of really aware, and maybe it's because in our energy field as a whole, we're up upon in the United States an election year, and they love the divide and conquer. They love you focusing on these, you know, extreme ends and you know, lots of shaming, lots of blaming, lots of dualistic nonsense and competition, you know, that's all based on one big farce and false narrative that's running because people keep supporting it, right? It's Virgo, it's like you're already experiencing that, even though that's coming up in November, right? You're experiencing this energy on a very personal level. Okay, you're starting to really observe, okay, how does the masculine respond? How does the feminine respond? How do I respond? What energies am I pulling on? How am I putting forth my personality? This is a real opportunity for you. And it is wound up and connected in with your relationships as well. So my encouragement for your homework would be to observe strangers. Because I think when you're focusing on somebody that you're closer to or related to, it gets to be a little too close to home. So go and observe some strangers. Go and observe some men and women and just, you know, it could be even minor things like you're pumping gas at the gas station and you're just having a look around. I mean, just kind of studying behaviors. This is helpful to you. It gives you data points. I spent a lot of time on that, but it's important for you. The advice and support. You got that 8 of Swords. So this is that part of you where you get a little mentally bound. You get a little tied up mentally. You get the Sun and the 8 of Cups. When you choose not to balance out your energies and you go on operating from this strong place of what you would think is conviction, but it's actually the way you're holding yourself back. Okay, it's very sneaky, it's very subtle. To clarify this 8 of Swords, you get the Sun and the 8 of Cups. And so when you get in this energy of the 8 of Swords and you don't take a moment to, it feels like you get really caught up in negativity and negative thoughts. You get all bound up, all wound up, and you just don't see the point. Don't see the point of anything. It's very defeating energy. But here's the Sun coming in saying, where's like the hope? Yes, you can look at reality, and we need you to look at reality. And you're an Earth sign, Virgo. Earth signs are very good at looking at and really tuning into the reality going on around them. And absolutely, we want to do that. And at the same time, we don't want to fall too much into getting ourselves wound up in reactive energies. All right. And we want to be observant of the energies that are pulling on us, trying to get us off our center. And these can be political energies, can be any. I already mentioned political, religious, somebody's opinion, you know, all these different theories and different things. You know, it could be anything that kind of pulls you off. And what it does is when you're in that space, you can't see the light. You can't see your way through, and you end up turning away from yourself and from your self-love and your self-care, and you end up turning away from anyone that you care about. You end up walking away, checking out, disconnecting, and literally like sabotaging your own happiness. So that's really important for you to take a look at as advice coming from the universe here. Really something you need to work on. Okay, in your environment, you get the 7 of Cups. Let's get a few clarifiers. So remember I said, in your environment, you have these choices, maybe more than you even realize. Sometimes it feels like you want to take a look at those choices, but you're worried you won't be able to make a decision, or you get too wound up, almost like a yo-yo. It's like a yo-yo that gets all caught and knotted, you know? It doesn't flow, it doesn't glide, and you can't use it as the toy that it is, right? It gets all knotted up, and then it stagnates you. So you have the Chariot here. There's opportunity for movement, but the Chariot can also come to a standstill, or it can feel very grinding if it's out of balance, or if you're resisting making a decision. So for some of you, you could have an important decision upon you, and you just may not be recognizing all the choices that you actually do have here, because I see multiple choices, not just one or the other, multiple choices. And it seems like you might not be seeing the whole playing field, and this can slow you down. The Chariot also represents Cancerian energy, which would bring in the reminder again. Yeah, you had the Queen of Cups, self-care. I can feel this is tricky for you. You're not always taking care of yourself properly, Virgo, and there needs to be more attention on that. Self-care can mean health and wellness. It can mean your mental state. It can mean your emotional processing. It can mean anything. And there's a variety of healthy tools out there that you can go and pick from to help you. And there's people that can help you, mentors and therapists and all kinds of people. You don't always see those choices though, because you're not in that place of properly caring for yourself. In the hopes and fears, Virgo, you got the Ace of Pentacles. So this is you wanting to kind of stand strong on your own, be financially independent. You've got the Six of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. This is a little bit of a tug and pull for you. You're really dealing with the law of polarity here. You're really seeing that pendulum swing. And sometimes instead of rising up and getting the higher vantage point on it, you're getting knocked out by the pendulum, right? It has to do with your self-care. Again, it has to do with your self-image. It has to do with how you see yourself. You're holding on too tightly to some of your old ways of doing things, but new energy wants to come in. The Six of Swords is a moving to a calmer, more balanced state in the mind. It is a clarity of consciousness. It is a more appealing place to be. It would be like being on the ocean, and either would you rather be in a terrible storm where the waves are awful, or would you rather it be smooth sailing, right? And that's kind of what you're up against. And I feel like then this is connected into your abundance channels. I do get a sense that you're aware of this, because you're coming in, this Ace of Pentacles comes in with a buck, and the buck is holding up the pentacle. There is also a bunny and a ferret in this picture. So you could look into those little animal energies as possible helpers and guides on this journey. So a buck, a bunny, and a ferret. We also have some berries. It looks like a berry bush and some mushrooms. So the natural world. Sometimes part of self-care, there's a lot of, you don't have to do the magic mushrooms. You can if you want, that's fine. Plant medicine and all, but I'm not even sure mushrooms are plants. They're something else entirely, aren't they? But then you have your others. You have your lion's mane, and you have your shaga and chaga and your rishi and all of those. So there may be something there for you as far as a medicinal kind of quality. Okay, let's look at your potential outcome. We've got the Page of Swords. Remember, I said that the Page of Swords, it can be a new, eager, youthful kind of energy coming in. This is clarified by the Ten of Pentacles and the Death card. And I think what I'm seeing here is that let's look at you from a couple different angles of the Page of Swords. If you look at you from the angle of the Page of Swords, where you know it all and you're going to do things the way you've always done them, and too bad, so sad, my way or the highway, it really leads you into a place where you are forced to transform. And it feels probably like death inside of you somehow. You could be getting sick. You could be having some sort of physical ailment. You could be maybe just not being able to get through the full workday. There could be some things holding you back here, because this Death card comes in as an opportunity for transformation, but it almost has this like forced energy when you're in the aspect of the Page of Swords that is, I know it all, I got this, don't tell me what to do. It's kind of like getting ahead of yourself. It kind of reminds me of like Anakin Skywalker when Obi-Wan was telling him, no, don't fight Count Dooku without me or whatever, or wait for me, you can't do this on your own, and you're like stubbornly do it anyway, right? And that just ends up in some problems. But you have the 10 of Pentacles here. So let's look at the Page of Swords energy. That is, remains curious, remains open to choices, remains in wonderment of the world, and opens up into the different fulfilling things that not only have the potential in their life, but that are actually going on around them. And it's you really paying attention to every little thing that is going well, and that is a building block toward your life and toward your healing and toward your growth. And that's how you can work with these energies. Since this is coming up in the potential outcome, again, you have a choice with how this energy works out, with how it shows up, both for yourself and in your relationships, Virgo. Wow, okay, big stuff, big adult stuff, big boy pants, big girl pants. Put them on. Pull those bootstraps up. This is important. Virgo, let's get a card for the Virgo Collective from the Herbcrafters Tarot to close off the reading. Virgo, you got the 8 of Fire, Ginger. Ooh, I love ginger. Inspiration comes from all directions. Can you handle so many things at once? Remember I said you have all these choices around you? Like the busy stove in this kitchen, everything begs for your attention. Change is happening quickly. Swift action is needed, or you may become overwhelmed. Ginger warms the body and fires up the energy. When creative possibilities spin all around you, fast, focused movement is the key. This is not the time to pause and consider, but instead respond with an urgency. Ginger is a spicy medicine, but you can handle the heat. Cool, Virgo, and I really like this compared to that Page of Swords energy, because the Page of Swords does act, and so that could be part of what you're trying to balance out. You're keeping that youthful, curious energy open to options, but when you see one and it really draws in your attention, you're taking that action and you're going for it, and then the pieces start to unfold. But you're doing so with an awareness, and you're doing so with it as a building block. And remember, ginger also helps with digestion, and it can help with, oh gosh, it's just so wonderful. It's such a wonderful thing. It's rooted, and so it goes very nicely with your earth energy. It's a root. It grows down deep, and it is just such a versatile thing. If you are able to tolerate ginger, I would definitely build it into your diet. You could do well with fire cider. You could do well with just like a ginger ale or ginger tonic of some kind that could really be helpful to you as you're working through these energies. Virgo, thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you next time.